Regarding nerve damage from surgery, that's a fairly broad topic. We know what nerves are. Nerves are the tissues that carry electrical signals that allow people to feel and allow muscles to twitch and move and the like. When a person undergoes surgery and you're thinking about how it is that you can avoid nerve injury, it's almost like talking about, it's like two different languages, okay? The first language deals with damage that damage of nerves as a result of the actual procedure that you're doing. What do I mean by that? I'm going to give you some examples. Let's say that a person has a hip replacement where you go in and you take out the old bone and saw off the top of the femur, and you're basically putting in titanium and steel in this socket. In that process, to get in the prosthesis, you necessarily have to elongate or pull the leg, and sometimes that causes damage to what's called the obturator nerve. It's a big nerve that basically runs up in your hip. That's an example of how doing a particular procedure could cause damage to the nerve or a nerve. Another example is if somebody's having some type of facial surgery. There's some nerves that run on the face. The seventh facial nerve is there. So let's say somebody's having some kind of surgery, bony surgery on the face, and then after the surgery, the whole face doesn't move anymore because the doctor has, quite frankly, cut the facial nerve accidentally. Those things happen, and that is medical negligence. When doctors are assigned with going in and performing specific surgeries, they necessarily have to be aware of the anatomy. Most people think that it's just second nature. How can a doctor who's been through 4 years of medical school, they've gone through all this training, how could they actually just blow it in terms of not identifying properly the nerves that are necessarily associated with a procedure? Well, it happens. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Those are some of the easier cases, in my opinion, of medical malpractice, because it's rare that you have a situation where if there's damage, then that necessarily means that there was negligence. Those cases come close to it because oftentimes with the particular surgeries, everybody knows that you have to identify these nerves before you move forward. So that's one type of nerve damage. There's another type also, this being the second language, is when it's due to positioning. I mean, if you have a prostate surgery and you're doing it robotically and somebody's upside down for 6 hours, you have to move and reposition the patient. You've got to make sure that elbow pads are in the right spot, that there are no pressure points that are basically putting constant pressure on nerves that could cause permanent nerve injury. That's another situation. So those are the two scenarios that you typically see dealing with nerve injuries. One, again, when there's injury due to misadventure of the surgeon. They cut a nerve that everybody knows basically is associated with the procedure. And the second is more positional, and you think about it. You're unconscious, you're helpless, you're subject to the maneuvers of the surgeon and the surgical team, and it's their responsibility and duty to put you in pads and to put you in a position that's not putting chronic pressure on nerves, where after the surgery you come up and wake up and you can't move a leg or an arm. But if you or any of your family members undergo surgery and you come away with it with something you totally didn't expect, at a minimum, allow somebody like me, an MD-JD, or somebody who's got some kind of medical acumen and medical experience to look closely at the medical records to tell you what happened.